Hello. I rode my bike here tonight, so. Our next presenter is Jeff Phillips, who is a Chicago-based artist who has been passionate about photography for more than 30 years. He's a member of the Chicago Photography Collective and helps produce the week-long Filter Photo Festival in Chicago each year. His photographs have been exhibited nationally and published internationally through a variety of media channels, including books, newspapers, and magazines. Tonight, Jeff is sharing a project that began with the discovery of 1,000 photographs in a secondhand store and ended with a significant photographic exhibition. Jeff Phillips.
Hello. Quick show of hands and a question for you. Today, how many people made a photograph using a camera or a phone? Raise your hand. Okay. In the last week, how many people made a photograph using a camera or a phone? How many people printed a photograph in the last week? Wah, wah. You understand my reason for the question in a moment. First off, I'm going to start by telling you I am absolutely obsessed by found photographs. You know what I'm talking about. They're things you find at a thrift store, estate sales, antique malls, abandoned portraits, photographs of dudes with their dads by their cars, grandmas with their dogs, men in strange, curious pants, and entire bowling teams showing their shiny new balls. Usually they're sold for $1 or so a piece, and I've been collecting these for years. My favorites are the quirky family photographs that we all take, where people are jockeying for the best position behind the punch bowl. They're not anything special, and I think that generally speaking, we all make pretty mundane photographs, snapshots in our life as we go through the courses of our lives. We're not making much art. But one particular day, a couple of years ago, I found something really special. I discovered more than 1,000 Kodachrome slides in some funky-smelling boxes at a consignment shop. Anybody remember slides from their childhood? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anybody been trapped in slideshow hell before? You're like, dude, right now. The first slide I pulled out of the box was of a woman dressed in a bright pink ball gown, posted center frame, deep blue sky. This was signature Kodachrome film, if you remember the song. It's a legendary film known for its sharpness and saturation and its permanence. This stuff could last through a nuclear war without any problems. The next slide, as I went through the box of slides, the next slide and the one after that and the one after that was a woman, the same woman posed in a yellow dress and then a blue dress. And I nearly laughed out loud, doubled over laughing in the store when I saw her standing on the deck of a ship wearing an orange life vest. But there were more. As I went through the slides, there were photographs of her in front of road signs, landmarks, important places. She always seemed to be somewhat centered. Clearly there were some wacky rules of composition going on here, and of course the nerd of me had to take all those distances and triangulate where she was and look it up on Google Street View. There were photographs of a man too, but in different places, and they were rarely seen together. Sometimes he was photographed with huge groups of women. I had no idea what was up with that, but God bless you, man, God bless you. I realized that I'd stumbled across a travelogue of a couple who had traveled together during the 50s and had photographed each other along the way. Of course, I immediately wondered, who are these people? Why did they travel so much? Where are they now? And just like all of the found photographs that I collect, I want to know why they were thrown away. These beautiful memories, these beautiful photographs, they're memories of their time together completely abandoned. I wanted to be able to find them and restore their identity in some way or another. But the problem was I had very little to go by because most of the slides were unmarked. There was no clues whatsoever. So I wondered what would happen if I posted one slide per day on Twitter or Facebook. How long would it take until they showed up in somebody's activity stream? So I created a Facebook page called Is This Your Mother? And I began posting 1 or 2 photographs per day. Before long, about 100 people, 200 people started following the page. Nobody actually saw their mother, but a social media search party kind of emerged, and they searched census records and genealogy databases, speculating about their names, their hometown, and their occupations that might have afforded them so much travel. I really thought that it would take a long time, forever. I thought 3, 5, maybe even 10 years before somebody recognized their mother, but interestingly, the mystery was solved in about 3 weeks. They were born, their names were Harry and Edna. How perfect is that? They were born at the turn of the century, died in the 80s, had no children, and that's when their family photos were set adrift. The ending of this story is finding the photographs is happy, it's satisfying, but there's much more. Followers of the page created fictional stories to match the scenes. They made comments about their clothing. They even projected their hopes and fears upon the couples in the images. One woman wrote, "I have no children, and I've often wondered if anyone will ever care if I was here on planet Earth. I can relate to Edna." But I already knew that Harry and Edna did not have kids because the dead giveaway was, well, they were traveling. So over and over and over again, people were absolutely certain they knew the exact location of these photographs. Usually it was a place, a fond memory they had of their childhood. Here you see a portrait of Edna in front of a bunch of palm trees with coconuts on a sunny, hot afternoon, in front of a sleigh with rubber tires, and the commenter asserts, "This is Wisconsin Dells." These comments reveal far more about their authors than the subjects in the photographs. My favorite image, 3 men sitting uncomfortably close together, the author simply writing, "That fella in the middle has a secret." Now, these slides were lost partially because, as a format, they were obsolete. Before I bought them, they were sold at an estate sale, and there was no projector available that morning to look at the slides, no way to share them or assess their value, and certainly not an efficient way to do thousands of them. So the reason for my question earlier about printing a photograph was really to hope that you'll think about how we're preserving our photographs today. Are we planning for that obsolescence that's almost certain? What can we do to prevent our digital photographs, which today, of course, have no physical form, from meeting the same fate as Harry's slides? Now, PK is not about preaching, it's about projects. So I want to show you real briefly in the last 2 slides about an exhibit I put together to get Harry and Edna traveling again. And it's an exhibition, large format photographs. They're printed in a way that is supposed to look like they're projected. The Facebook comments are part of the show, and the people that found Harry and Edna helped curate the show online through a poll that I created. There's an old school projector and a new school iPad so that we can be reminded of the way we're consuming photography differently today than we used to. And then lastly, a cutout of Edna so people can photograph themselves with her, post them, or tweet them, thus completing the circle. The gallery thought it was a great idea to have this billboard and this 40-foot Edna to scare the hell out of people. Maybe they'll start printing their photographs again. Thank you.
Oh, so early in the evening and already you say, "I love PechaKucha." Wasn't that nice? That's the best applause you can do? Come on. Thank you. And for a friend of Michael Jackson's, very impressive. So,